Hello, hello, hello. Whoa, what was that? Hello everybody. How you doing? Don't forget about our D Live contest, 500 to D Live, so I can give away one beautiful T-shirt and another crappy shirt from the Winning TV store on Teespring. You can win a Winning TV shirt, a Speakeasy shirt, or a Promises Kept shirt. Doc on one breast, myself on the other, facing inward. So don't forget about that. Mm. Oh, thank you, Doc. I appreciate that. So welcome back. Oh, but by the way, we are a little short-handed again tonight. So if you'd like to join, thank you for the ice cream, Victor Von Shroom. If you want to join in on the fun tonight on our Zoom, just let us know. Reach out, and I will send you a link. How about that? Just let us know in chat, and I will send you the link. Victor, you already have it. So whatever link. Angela Sows, thank you for the diamond. Really appreciate it. China, thank you very much. You a good patriot. China, a good friend to you. Victor, you should have the link. The link that I send you for Thursday night should work for this. If it doesn't, just shout out to me, but it should. I think it's the same link every time, right, Doc? Yep. So you should be able to hop in anytime you want. Victor. Oh, Victor. Where were we? Oh, by the way, tonight we have Iceman Rusty4433 from the Fighting for the Republic show on D Live Sunday nights with. I guess you have a co-host now, right, Rusty? Hmm. Excellent. How you doing tonight, Russ? So was Beth Duffy trying to say our show isn't very good and doesn't want to get on ours? I know some girl on some show last night with Sandra was saying, unless you had sponsors, you weren't a real show. uh, oh, Victor Von Shroom is joining us. So from the Victor Show and H&S on Thursdays with me. Let's give him a second to audio load up here. In the meantime, let's get some ambiance music. Oh, Victor, are you there? They can hear me. Hey, that's the way I planned it. There, maybe they can hear him now.
Did you not know everything like that is planned?
I planned that on purpose.
Yes, you would.
It's my birthday, so it's the whole show is about me.
It's our birthday.
Your birthday was
together.
Hey no. It's
Lest
St.
you
Nicholas'
forget.
birthday.
Do what, babe?
It's St. Nicholas' birthday.
Not to the 25th. That's
no,
when he comes.
25th.
The Batman.
It's the 5th. Just because Coca-Cola owns yours doesn't mean ours.
He's talked about Saint Nicholas, not Jesus' birthday.
Exactly.
Well, I know, but we celebrate both on the same day around here.
Let me see if I can
Thank you, Kitty B.
Shit.
So, did you see our title tonight there, Victor?
Yeah, I've seen your title. Investigating arrest and yada yada.
Yeah, no Ray.
No, Ray.
Yeah.
They're not going to know if that's your Chinese or if that is a veiled comment. Believe you me, it's a veiled comment.
It could be both.
Yeah. Congratulations on your birthday, Phil. How old did you get?
49.
Very.
I'm
sorry you set him up for that one, Victor.
I knew he was around his 40s.
What'd you level up
not
to,
at the
Yank? What'd you level up to, Yank?
49. Oh, no, 45,
Oh,
sorry.
right.
45.
What?
45.
Yeah,
like,
how many times?
Like Trump,
What do you
right?
mean?
Trump's the 45th president. Today's my 45th birthday.
I was thinking it was either 54 or the double nickel.
No. Nope.
Come on now, Phil.
No, I'm not that old.
You can tell us inquiring minds want to know.
I'm not that old.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, we will be checking your birth certificate like we did Obama's. Hopefully nobody will die in process.
What the hell kind of country is this where I can only hate a man if he's white?
Oh, thank you for the diamond boogie bumper. Appreciate that.
You missed another diamond, I believe.
Did I?
Yeah, Angel, what's her face?
Oh, Angel Sows? Oh, thank you for the diamond, Angel Sows.
Angel Sows, that's the one, yeah.
Oh, she didn't write anything, but thank you. Thank you for the diamond. Appreciate that. Thank you, Victor.
Thank you for keeping me safe.
I don't want anybody coming after me. So, what's everybody think of this mess? We got messes everywhere this week. People fighting with people over voting people. It's just insane now, isn't it?
It's more than insane, but it's very interesting.
It's not really time, to be honest.
What's that, Victor?
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Victor?
It's about time they fought back, to be honest. Cause
it is way past time. That's been our problem.
Yeah, way past.
Yeah, you picked the wrong time to fight back.
They're used to getting. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's gotten them off the mark. Maybe that's what got Loeffler and them out there. I don't know why they waited so long, to start fighting back. If I'd been out there, day one scrapping and fussing and fighting and, saying, you know what, we're not going to accept this.
Well, I made a point to you, Doc, in between shows that if you really
like I know what a JPEG is, I just want a picture of a goddamn hot dog.
Thank you, Angie445, for the ice cream. If you really believe Trump is going to be inaugurated on January 20th, you're kind of fucking him over if you lose the Senate. Right? I mean, do you think?
Well, go ahead, Rusty.
I'm trying to put my thought together. Go ahead.
It's a mixed bag. It's really. I mean, I understand the point that's being made that we need to tell them. You know what? If you do not, stand up now and audit the vote, then we're not going to cooperate with you in the future. So it's unfortunate that we've waited so long to rise up and tell them in a united voice that. But if we're ever going to do it, I guess now is the time. However, or that might have been what helped them get off the dime. I don't know. Because, like I said, it's way past time for them to grow up here. You know,
Well,
I'm
what I
sorry.
don't understand is why is everyone expecting Georgia and Michigan and all those lovely states to do something about it? Your state can protest, every state can protest. Everyone can voice their opinion, but no one's doing that. That's the weirdest bit about this whole thing, I think.
Well, Michigan
Well,
actually is.
they are doing it. They are standing up, but it's our elected officials that have not been complying. The rhinos and the establishment that don't really want a change in Washington. And, you know, it just points to the fact again that the corruption is on both sides of the aisle. What we're
But
fighting is not on one side of the party, it's on both. And I'm for one am freaking sick of it. It made my stomach turn to have to vote for John Cornyn because he's a snake in the grass. And I absolutely gritted my teeth and I voted red all the way because I felt like it was necessary. But I can promise you this, from this day forward, every day he will get an email from me reminding him that I will do everything in my power to primary the shit out of him the next time he's up for election. I am sick and tired of these rhinos thinking that they can keep taking our vote and not complying with what, you know, they have promised. If I'm going to get screwed, I like to get kissed first, is all I'm saying. They better start, amping up because this shit isn't going to fly anymore. Excuse my French, but I'm sick of it.
well, I'm going
Just
to
saying.
elaborate on Victor's point. The right sucks at protesting. They absolutely do.
Yes,
They're
we do.
terrible at it.
Yes, we do.
Because,
We
look,
suck at a lot of things,
look,
but
you got
it's time to get
Antifa
over it.
and BLM. They fill streets. They fill multiple cities at once with lots of people, okay? Yeah, they do riot and burn shit down, but they fill streets. They block traffic. They do all this stuff. What's the right do? Gathers on the steps of a courthouse for an hour or two and disappears, okay? You got people mad about the masks and all the businesses being closed. Why aren't they out blocking Walmart's entrance and saying you can't let Walmart be open, but not that retail shop, all those retail shops down in downtown?
I
Because
agree.
the right
I think
sucks
we're
at
doing it more and
protesting.
more, but we're slow. We are so freaking slow and behind the curve on it. And, you know,
But
that's been our problem all along is we're always freaking behind the curve. We're always slow. We're always slow to anger. We're always slow to get up and say, you know what? You sorry little son of a bitch. You screw with us one more time and we are coming for you. I mean, if we start doing that and giving them a taste, you know, it's just the old bully concept. Until you stand up to that bully, they're going to keep bullying you. And it is way past time we do it. And I think people are really finally starting to get mad enough and opening their freaking eyes enough. You know, the problem with America is that we've been coddled way too long. We've been allowed to think that we didn't have to pay attention to politics. We're too busy. We're too this, we're too that. Well, you know what? See where that got us, being too busy? They count on that. And it is time we stop and say, you know what? Enough.
You
well,
want
we've
to?
been protesting.
Oh,
Well,
go
We've
ahead,
been
Rush.
protesting this governor for a while, and now we're still protesting her over these votes. And when I was watching the hearings, I got the impression none of them really were that interested, except maybe one or two. But now that I hear it's going to the Senate, which is good, we'll get somewhere because we control both the House, Senate, and the House. But we have this Attorney General, Dana Nessel, is threatening election fraud whistleblowers with prosecution now. And she's telling the Republicans to either put up or shut up. They're real witches, I'm telling you.
Well, you've got the illusion that they're going to do something in the Senate of Michigan, but they're not. They're placating you like they always do. Oh yeah, we're going to look into it, and it'll go nowhere. Well, we'll fix it for the next election.
Well, we do have one senator who kind of flip flops a little bit, but I think we're going to do something because they know we're all pissed.
Got anything to add there, Victor?
Well, the thing is, you're being pissed adds to what? And that's their argument precisely. You being pissed does not matter. The minute you screw them over, then they're getting worried. But like Winning TV and I already discussed on first day, this whole thing isn't the problem. The problem is what happens afterwards, where we're going to be stuck with electoral state votes and what Black Lives Matter and Antifa will be doing once those people are known.
Well, I've heard people talk about it, and I'm not going into that realm yet. I know it's coming, but I'm not willing to discourage and worry other people. But when it gets closer, which we know what it is, I will start talking more about it. I've been reluctant.
Why not talk about it now? It's better that you know now, because they did it in 2016. They got the names of the electors, and they tried to force them to change their vote from Trump to Hillary. Only this time it's going to be worse.
But I think this time our side knows it's coming. Hopefully that, they can prepare. But because I really do think it's probably going to come down to that in a lot of states.
Oh, and my town, ammo's gone. You can't go in one star. There's ammunition gone.
Well, that's not the thing. The main problem is these electoral delegates, they need to have protection. So unless Trump is going to deploy the military to cramp down on Antifa and Black Lives Matter to prevent any action from them, they're going to vote for Biden. It's that simple. Because without guarantees, they're not going to vote for Trump.
Well, you got to think about their families, too, because these people hunt down your family. Not your immediate family. Your
dog.
What's that? Yeah, they'll hunt down your ex-school teacher, if they can. So that's the thing.
That's the main worry, and Trump needs to actually comment on that. Just the minute the course of the electoral voting happens, he'll need to have a battle plan ready. If he doesn't, he loses. Period.
He does.
I agree.
Oh, he does.
But I think he will.
You're talking about a big operation.
What's happened before.
You're going to have to protect these people, the delegates, or the electors, and their families, and maybe even their immediate family around them.
Well, the only solution would be to round up Antifa and Black Lives Matter, which would be semi-unconstitutional.
Yep.
Because on one hand, you need to protect the right to vote, but on the other hand, you can't simply round up people willy-nilly.
Exactly.
No, but don't you think he can declare them a terrorist organization? That might help.
Yeah, but if he declares them as a terrorist organization, he'll have to declare martial law as well.
Well, he might. He may have to anyway, because they've promised no matter which way it goes, it's going to get ugly.
Yeah,
I've seen the
scary thing happens when the COVID cure happens. Because you don't want to have that happen during martial law.
I hear you. It's concerning.
And maybe I'm wrong, but I hear different stories on this. Martial law needs Congress to approve it, and Insurrection Act doesn't. So he'd probably have to.
That's what it's going to be.
You're not going to get Congress to approve it, that's for sure.
It's going to be the Insurrection Act.
Congress would approve it, but that's the thing. They'll have demands and caveats to it, and that's the scary thing about it.
Yeah.
See, I kind of reason I really kind of worry about talking about it now is obviously timing, but it's also you still have you're still gonna have Georgia voting. You're gonna be freaking out the voters, possibly, even like Democrats or soft Democrats, independents. They're gonna hear it and go, "Oh my God." That's what I kind of have concerns about.
I'm sure if you scoured the internet, there's stories out there already from the left saying we need to find out who the electors are going to be.
Oh, you know
They
it.
already campaigned for that. Make
Yep.
lists, report people.
Yep.
There
Yeah.
are entire data discords, Facebook message groups, you name it. They're already gearing up for this. And the sad bit is Twitter groups, Facebook groups, they're all sanctioned by big tech. So how is the government going to spot them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think they've already been doing a lot of surveillance and mapping according to what they have posted and stuff. I think they've known this was coming. And, my hope again is that they've been preparing because regardless, even if it didn't go to that and Biden was named the president-elect, they're going to eat their own. They don't like him any better than they do really Trump.
He's not going to be there
It's
long.
going to be ugly no matter which way we go. It just didn't.
No.
I think it's going to be so ugly, and I think people need to really batten down the hatch and realize how ugly it's about to get and brace themselves, because otherwise you're going to be caught very unprepared.
Number one, they probably already have targets in mind of GOP electors anyway. So they've got lists of people who are potential GOP electors.
Well, that sounds great. Nothing ever bad comes from being put on a list by government. They're doing it to keep me safe. They're protecting me. Thank you for keeping me safe.
And Victor and I talked about this a couple weeks ago. I know some people want to burn down the Democrat Party, but then you run a risk of one-party rule, which could be ugly too. It's two sides of one bad coin.
I think we need to have a MAGA party and do away with the GOP. Myself.
Yeah, but then you get a free partisan government, and you'll end up with the problem we have over in Europe, where you'll have groups of politicians simply lumping together to curb stomp or gatekeep another party out. Even though half the population will vote for them, they won't get in.
I'm sorry, I guess I didn't understand your point. I'm sorry, I didn't get it all. We're having a war of the accents there.
Well, the thing is, over here, we have multi-party system. What you'll end up getting is GOP and Democrats will bundle together to keep out the MAGA party.
No, I'm saying take over the GOP. I'm not saying a third party. I'm not for a third party. I think that we need to show the GOP that it's our party now, that we've taken it over. We're stronger than they are. And we hold all the keys. I think that POTUS has made it where we can. We've got the opportunity if we have the guts to do it.
Well, you're seeing
because
the battle
the
for...
Democrats didn't really walk away to go to the Republican Party. They walked away from the Democrats, or they walked away to join the MAGA movement, the Make America, Put America First movement. And I think that's where we've got to really maximize our strength.
Well, again, then you'll work in a third party regardless, because currently, as it stands, you have GOP voted in under the guise of MAGA. So you're going to have to get them out of office first.
I don't necessarily agree with that one. I think that the disgruntled Republicans have shown us already that they'll just go join the Democrats. because that's what they've done already.
Well, even a MAGA movement or taking over the MAGA GOP would bring up probably there's at least one reasonable Democrat that I know of now, who I'm really surprised I'm even suggesting this, and that's Tabitha Gifford, is it?
You said Kathy Lee Gifford?
No, Tabitha Gifford, whatever her name is, from Hawaii. Yes, we're going to have Kathy Lee Gifford now, and she's going to be singing and dancing and everything.
She might be an improvement.
She would be an improvement for the Democratic Party. she would annoy AOC relentlessly.
Who's the person you were speaking of again?
I think she's from Hawaii. Tabby Gifford or something like that.
No.
I don't know her.
You're talking about. She's talking about. He's talking about. Oh, what's her name? She ran for president.
Right.
Oh no.
No, she's a world.
Actually,
hey,
you know what?
Subscribed.
Now,
does it feel good?
Well, you know what? It used to be Joe Manchin, but he's bent the knee. He's done.
Oh, I know her name. What the hell's her name?
I know.
Hate
that.
Somebody in chat help us out. We're all having
the one who sounded the alarm about the missiles. What the hell's her name?
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Yes. And she's also on the World Economic Forum's website with Dan Crenshaw. Tulsi Gabbard.
See, I only heard a couple of suggestions that she made, and thought, yeah, that's reasonable.
No,
that's what she tries to use though, is that she's reasonable, and that it's okay. We don't have to squabble over these things. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh God, what is her name? But she's
Tulsi Gabbard.
Because I think
Becca put it in the chat. Tulsi Gabbard.
That's right.
No, she's not good.
No.
Not good at all.
So basically, she's a Trojan horse as well.
Yeah, she is very much so. I think that makes her more dangerous.
Okay, so now I
she's reasonable.
Don't bother with her.
There you go. Boogie Bumper says Tulsi reminds me of Dennis Kucinich. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And he was no good.
See, I don't really like her, but there's only a couple things that I agreed with, and it sounded okay.
That's how they lure you in.
She packaged herself that way.
That's how they lure you in. Come on, I got you.
She seems very reasonable, and look, she's a veteran. How could she be not? Because she seems so much more reasonable than some of the other crazies that they have, and that's how they lure in and make her a viable candidate.
That's another problem we have. Just because you're a veteran doesn't mean you're beyond criticism or, I'm a veteran running for Congress. You can't say anything about me.
No, but the same accounts for religion.
You can't say anything bad about John McCain now.
What was that, Victor?
Well, same accounts for religion. Oh, they're Catholic, so I'm gonna vote for them. They're Muslim, I'm gonna vote for them. They're Jewish, I'm gonna vote for them. That's not a good idea that's not a good way to vote.
No.
We had that vote for her. I just thought she had a couple of reasonable ideas. That's it.
We had that in District 22. Anthony Brindisi, because we have a lot of Italians in Utica. They voted for him, and they had a man on the street thing. It was hilarious. Why are you voting for Anthony? He's Italian. Do you know what he stands for? No, he's fucking Italian. I'm voting for the Paisan. It's are you serious? Yeah, he's got a vowel on the end of his name.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there were people that voted for him.
And that's why it upset me when people would say, oh, Trump's not this or, Christian, really Christian or whatever. I'm not voting for a pastor. I don't need one. I've already got one. Thank you very much. And I just don't get that being, your criteria. That would just not occur to me. But I know a lot of people that probably adhere to that.
Hey, Kyle Jones in the chat. What's the topic of discussion? We'll talk about anything. Throw something at us. We were going to talk about the FBI and how they're not going to do anything, but I think that's like a short conversation.
Do we have an FBI anymore?
I'm sorry, what's that, Rusty?
Do we have an FBI anymore?
FBI, what's that?
I have no idea. Who's this Ray guy?
Who are you talking about?
It's more like the RBI, Republican Bureau of Investigation.
Empty Bear, the reason why the whole vaccine pushes that's coming from the UN out, it's being pushed globally. And the main reason is we close down, and without losing face, we have to push the vaccine, because otherwise we have to own up that the whole lockdown was stupid, and you're liable for lawsuits.
Yep. Exactly. Standing there watching the... Yeah, you know what? That was weird. Unless nobody knew what... Nobody watched the hearings, I guess. Boogie Bumper saying, am I the only one who thought everyone standing there watching that video at the rally was bizarre and weird?
Well, Boogie needs to account for this isn't being covered by the big media. Mm-hmm. So
that's true.
Airing that during a rally actually gets you more people
pretty smart
interested in it.
Well, or exposed to it.
Yeah,
not even that they haven't been interested before, but so many people just get their news from the mainstream media. That might be their very first time seeing any of these things. I think it's actually pretty brilliant.
And it was only
this is gonna go word to mouth, go from Twitter and whatnot, because people didn't expect that thing.
Well, our universe, the Twitter universe, Periscope, YouTube, DLive, that is a herpes pimple on the ass of Hunter Biden compared to, for people getting news. How many people are actually getting their news? All the shows combined, right? It's a small percentage, right?
That are getting their news from what?
From Twitter and Periscope and, even the bigger shows out there have only 200 people watching, 300 people, every night. And there's only so much you can cover.
Well, yeah, but if you consider Trump's Twitter, for instance, has 86 million followers, that's going to cover a lot of people. But doing this during the rallies, not everyone is following Donald Trump. Some are just Republican, and they're like, I'm not going to follow him. He's just going to post all this weird stuff I catch from the media anyways. So let's say 5,000 of the 30,000 there didn't follow him on Twitter. They now know as well.
Yeah. So it's and how many of the older population are on Twitter?
Well, exactly. That's where he does these thousands of people rallies for. It's not for the young folk. It's not for the middle-aged folk. It's for the people above 50, 60, 70.
Well, it is some people for the younger people, because so many of them get their news from Yahoo and what is the one that they like, Instagram and all that crap. So that one, I think that actually the most woke crowd is the, 25 or 30 to the 60 range.
The most woke crowd is between 25 and 40. You can see that on D Live. You can see that on every third-party outlet. Everyone is at least beyond 25. It's very weird.
Kyle Jones in the chat. Trump's legal team has not lost 47 cases. That's actually factually incorrect. So if you're going to post something, be factually correct. There's other lawsuits from other lawyers and private citizens doing lawsuits. They've lost, but Trump's actual lawyers have not lost 47 cases. So
They only submitted 3 cases so far, I believe.
Yes.
exactly.
Rudy Giuliani covered it this week. So you're either behind the times or you're not getting your information from correct sources. You need to reach out.
You could keep saying check the court records. I just told you what the truth was. Trump's actual lawyers have only filed 3 lawsuits. So you got to be, if you're just reading a headline, then you don't know what you're talking about. So
Not even Miss Release the Kraken has lost a lawsuit yet. She has yet to file one.
she filed in Arizona, I think.
In
right?
Michigan.
And Michigan. But she hasn't lost those lawsuits, or they haven't been thrown out.
Mm-mm.
Again, you're wrong. The GOP and Trump campaign have not lost 47 cases. Stop. Go read something and come back, okay?
I think Kyle Jones is one of the opposition where they're pretty much gonna spam this for quite some time. But yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
you fact checked your Snopes.
Everybody's allowed the privilege of being wrong from time to time, but some people abuse it. Just saying.
Oh, someone said that's how they got the loss. The lawsuit is how they got the video from the FedEx Center. Yeah, that was interesting. They didn't know that the FedEx Center was videotaping them the entire time. Holy crap.
Well, what about the man that the truck driver that said that, you know, he parked his truck and went back out the next morning, and there's something like 200,000 or 300,000 ballots unaccounted for because his rig was gone and it's still not been found?
Right.
Kyle Jones, you're wrong. Why do you keep saying you're right when you're wrong? Google it. Sidney Powell has not lost her lawsuits. The Trump campaign has not lost 47 lawsuits.
Well, do
Stop.
what he said. Google it and show him, Phil.
I'm not going to.
And show him.
I'm not going to waste time on him.
How many cases have actually been filed? Show him he's
There's
wrong.
been almost 100 cases filed, but not by the Trump campaign. He doesn't listen. Oh, well, let's not waste any more time on somebody who's ignorant. I'm fine with discussing something with somebody in chat, but if they're just going to keep rambling the same talking point, then you're just wasting our time.
Well, you have these people on camera, not only in the FedEx Center, being filmed. She filmed. What's her name? I forgot her name already. The lady in the purple, her and her daughter. She was actually filming herself, doing something that she wasn't supposed to be doing. And she even said it. Then it's basically on Twitter all over that they show her and her daughter and some guy doing a little switcheroo with the USB.
Well, the whole USB situation with people walking in with baggies of USB, there's just a lot of shady crap going on. I mean, the whole Georgia situation of the videotape of 4 people staying behind, whipping out suitcases from underneath the table, and they start running ballots. I mean, after they told everybody to leave, that just...
And all they want to do is argue about whether it was about the term of suitcase. They want to say it wasn't a suitcase, it was a bin. You're going, who gives a rat's patootie? That's not the point, you goober. See, that's the way they do everything. They convolute. When you ask them a direct question, they don't respond to the question. They go, well, I want to answer it that way if your dress hadn't been yellow. I mean, stuff that doesn't even make sense. It just convolutes the conversation. Just like with Kyle, instead of going and researching, he just wants to argue. You know,
well, no. I
just drives you insane.
Yeah, but I just looked into it, and he's quite correct about cases lost. But those were not in Georgia or Pennsylvania. Those were across the country.
That was not from the Trump campaign, though.
It was.
Some of them were. But
Rudy Giuliani said that they have only filed 3 cases.
Yeah, in that specific region, and that's the entire thing. People count them across the nation, and they're like, Trump lost 47 cases. Yes, across the nation. How many cases did he win, though?
But not all of those 47 were from the Trump campaign. There are several hundred people suing for election fraud. Independent people are suing. So they keep throwing this 47 number out, but it's not factually correct. Like I said, it's not the Trump campaign that's lost 47, and they keep saying that on Twitter. Even politicians at the Michigan hearing were saying it, and they're wrong.
No, we do not. We do not owe you an apology now. You still are incorrect factually. You need to get a grip, darling.
Because it's not a total of 47 from the Trump campaign. Trump campaign did 15, and there are several others from private owned lawsuits. And you can Google it all you want, but the Kraken thing is not a presidential thing.
That's why Trump
said...
said...
He's not associated with the campaign. They made a very distinction about that.
And it's moving
for
up...
that very reason. She's representing we the people.
It's moving up to the next level.
Rudy Giuliani are representing Trump.
Those cases are being appealed to a higher court now. So...
Exactly, but that's why I checked his Google search. And the thing is, it includes the Kraken's lawsuits, it includes private lawsuits, and those don't count for the Trump campaign. And you can go from, well,
she does not work for Trump.
And I believe that's what
abundantly clear, because then if he lost his, he wouldn't have a standing. We do not, as disenfranchised voters, we do not lose our standing.
And I believe that's what I said, isn't it? I said those were not all from the Trump campaign. I mean,
exactly.
So you get no apology. There you go.
And there's no need in blocking. We're here to educate the people. You know.
It's free speech. If you want to be dumb, you can be dumb. Dumb means you're choosing to not be educated about it.
I mean,
when people
go
are
back
sitting
and
here and telling you, at least go back and research it before you blindly keep clinging to your same misguided statements.
Here's an easy way to research it. Go watch the Michigan hearing. Rudy explains it right out in the hearing. No, we have not lost 47 cases.
And Kyle, I would recommend that you start watching Steve Bannon's War Room on YouTube. He has speakers, statisticians, different people from all walks of life and from every thought. And you see, they tear it down state by state, what's going on, and exactly what the status is. So I think you would find that very enlightening.
Oh, it's the best.
I listened to the Michigan hearing, and this was brought up to Rudy by, I can't remember her name, but she wore a mask, of course. And and Rudy spelled it out he said, no, that is not correct. We have not lost 47 cases. And I heard him speak about it. So
Yeah, he did.
and he's Trump's lawyer, so I would take his word over what somebody on Twitter keeps saying.
Well, yeah, but that's the whole thing. If you Google it, you'll get to the whole civil suit lawsuits, which have nothing to do with the Trump campaign, and that's kind of the thing.
Oh, Kyle, darling, let me just clarify something for you, honey. You're not hurting our feelings. We're trying to have a factual discussion with you, but we're telling you that your facts that you're claiming are in error. That means you need to go back to the drawing board. It has nothing to do with feelings. You don't see any of us getting upset. You don't see any of us taking it personal, honey. So you just need to remember that you can't bark like a puppy now if you're going to run with the big dogs. You got to have your facts straight.
But here's the thing. He's now calling the Nevada rulings and whatnot. That's all nice and dandy, but you need to read into the article. Because the answer is at the bottom. It's not at the top.
Mm-hmm. And make yourself available to differing, news sources from what you're obviously quoting, because you are just quoting the mainstream media like a magpie.
That reminds me of the politician at the Michigan hearing, the woman with the mask. It was laughable because she was saying it was debunked over and over. And another politician spoke up and said, when did you get this video? Well, we got it last night. So, therefore, how can it be debunked if nobody has seen that video?
Yeah, they said it's only been played now.
Yeah.
Also, Kyle, if you want to talk about them being official, then you need to go read all of these hundreds and thousands of people's affidavits. Those are official. They are given under the penalty of perjury. So, again, darling, you just aren't, you're not up to date on your argument skills because you're behind the 8 ball here. Those people, they covered it again in the hearings. I don't care if they were in a hotel lobby or if they were in a carport, for all I care. Those people were reciting things that they have given affidavits on. That means they've taken it under oath. They know it was under penalty of law. So, and their testimony did not differ, or the mainstream media would have already been howling and it would have been front page news. Their testimony during these hearings have not matched their affidavits. Oh, dear goodness. Come on.
So, Kyle Jones, do you know that she was drunk for a fact?
She was very smart. You're just mad she set your people on their ass.
That's just now you're gonna call her a drunk because you didn't like her testimony. That's just pathetic.
I know. Hey, I thought she rocked. I think she needs to run for office. I'm just saying. I love the one with her hair piled up. I sent you that clip if you want to play it.
Yeah, I got it.
I thought she rocked. I am saying. Somebody said last night on Q-Tips that she reminded them of the girl from My Cousin Benny.
No.
I don't know. I do think she seemed, if she had a wad of gum in her mouth, I think, and a pencil behind her ear, she would seem very typical. But she was very smart. She was very well versed. She knew her stuff. And the woman had it going on. Just saying.
What was great about her also is she was willing to not take it like, okay, you're right. No, she goes, you're wrong. This is what happened.
And she said, I testified to this under oath. Did you? And I loved it. It was like, yes.
Well, what were you going to say something, Victor?
Lady.
Yeah.
The blonde
with
lady?
the hair piled high on her head. All she needed was a pencil and a wad of gum, and she would have been secretary for many old detective shows, you know.
Yeah, but the thing is, people have already been doing background checks on her, and she has some problematic things in her background. So
I don't give a shit about her
don't
past.
praise
She
her too much.
testified to it. You
Yeah,
know?
but that's the thing. Her background is that she filed 2 times false, not affidavits, testimonies in previous things.
Was she
And that's
found guilty?
well, that's the thing. They don't show that.
Mm.
And that's where the thing
They brought
goes
charges,
from.
but they don't show the disposition of the charges?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the
Something's
thing.
weird about that.
Well, she's probably acquitted from it, and which
Then it
isn't.
should, if she was acquitted, it should have been wiped from her record. She should have had it expunged.
Well, they're not going to do that.
Not acquitted, I mean dismissed. Sorry.
Yeah.
She's probably dismissed from it, so it still stands, but nothing is being done.
It still
about
should
it.
show.
But
Huh.
do you think the
Who found
media,
that? Where'd you see that?
the media finds something on a witness? They're not going to tell you. They're just going to find the dirt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Who,
You know.
who found that, and what source did they quote that from?
Well, but that's the thing. Those things are currently circulating without the end result from those background checks, and that's kind of the problematic thing. The media will just post, well, she has this in her past, so we shouldn't believe her.
We did not say she
Yeah, but
was
that's what
lying
I'm
in
saying.
previous cases, Kyle. You're not listening.
That's what I'm saying is what media source? We know how reliable a lot of them are. The majority of them are.
But look at
So
this.
I would have to get that from several sources and research that myself.
What's her name? I'll find it real quick.
It was
it's on.
it was something with her boyfriend sending videos to his girlfriend or something.
It
like
was
that.
When
it's
you look at-
Tyrone or something like that. Is her name?
When you think about it, you're dealing with Rudy Giuliani. Do you not think he's going to look in her background?
Well, actually, was
look at
she
her
the one that had
background.
only just met him? I don't know that he lined her up. These are people that came forward. So she said in her testimony that she had just met him, or that she had not met him and was looking forward to it or something. It was in her little testimony thing.
Well, somebody on his team. Somebody should have had vetted her.
Snow Bunny
I don't
sent
know
me.
if they've had time to do vetting with as many people as they've had come forward. They said they have just been absolutely overwhelmed with the people coming forward.
Snow Bunny sent me a video. I'm gonna throw it up here. It's a tweet. Hopefully the video plays because they never do unless I download them. But I'm not gonna download it. So hold on a second here. Don Purser on Twitter, video evidence of a USB handoff at Fulton County, Georgia election counting office.
Do I look
Excuse
like
me.
I know what a JPEG is?
That's
I
it.
just want a picture of a goddamn hot dog.
Watch them look around to see who's watching. Check their body language. The two should already be arrested. Slow motion and zoom included. Okay, let's see the video. I haven't seen this one.
I have. I played it last night. It is that Ruby Summers in Georgia that I was just talking about.
Oh, the one
Yeah,
who said she's going to make sure Trump doesn't win on her Facebook
Yeah,
page.
her and her boo made it happen.
Yeah. All right, let's watch the video here.
And they'd get in trouble if it became public, but she's putting it on Facebook anyway.
That one I didn't hear.
Okay, she was only charged with obscenity for allegedly emailing sexual explicit video to her boyfriend's ex. That's all about it. Because I had to look it in, because I saw it floating on the Twitters.
And I don't know where I don't know where Kyle Jones got up. She lied in previous cases. That's not.
No. She pleaded out. She pleaded no content attest against that thing. So nothing happened out of that. So no
And this
lying
is
on the court case. So
this is the sad part. Somebody comes forward and testifies under oath of, at penalty of perjury, testifies to what they saw in a murder case, okay? Do they go back in this person's history and find out if they had a fight with their ex-boyfriend?
no,
I don't
but
think
they
so.
would check if
Well, actually, the
if she's
opposing
lying
attorney does. If the opposing attorney or the attorney for the plaintiff, well, hell yeah, they'll make them look bad as all get out. They'll go back in their history, do anything saying that they're not trustworthy or they're a drunk or slut or whatever. That's very, very common.
So what? A judge said her allegations simply are not. That's his opinion. And is he a Democrat, Kyle? I mean, when it goes up to the next level, the next judge may say, hey, her allegations are credible. So you could. Oh, come on. You're just getting way off into the weeds now.
Well, and take them in the totality. Do you really believe that the hundreds and thousands of people that have come forward to give affidavits are all, compromised in some way? That they are not acting out of patriotism for their country? A lot of them are Democrats. The truck driver didn't even vote. He's a Democrat, but didn't even get a chance to vote. He said the only reason that he's come forward is because he loves his country and does not want to see the process of our voting become corrupted. Now that is a big man, that even if it's painful to what he believes in or painful to the side that he's taken in the past, he was willing to come forward and tell the truth to save his country. Are you willing to look at the truth, Kyle, to save your country?
Stop wasting your time on Kyle. It's just we're just wasting our time.
Kyle, I'm saying it to everybody in this scope that doesn't realize that our republic is at stake, that the very right to vote is at stake, because if it means nothing, then you don't have that right anymore. So think about it.
Let's watch the video, because he's staying around because he keeps just blurting out stuff and we're defending it or fact checking him and giving him the correct information, and that's why he's just going to keep doing it and burn up the whole 2 hours. So.
Well, yeah, but fact checking false claims is a good thing, though.
Yeah, but I think most of the people in the audience already know what he's doing.
I think we've covered it. You're probably right.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Roll them.
I've never wasted that much time on one person, and there's other people too. That yeah. Now he's going down the worst president in history. This is all a trolling operation. He must be a Chinese bot.
How can you be worse than Obama, though?
Yeah. Oh, look at them look around. They're looking around, make sure nobody's watching. Look at. Let me slip you the. Let me slip it to you.
Good Lord, where did that guy learn to shoplift? Any mall security guard would spot him out right this instant.
Wow. Look how she does this. Boy, they are terrible.
Oh yeah, but that's the entire thing. She's still a bit decent, but him standing around, leaning over, not. Because he's been standing there, around there for far too long.
Yeah, she palms it.
That was taken off by Ruby.
No, but here's the thing. A cashier at a 7-Eleven would have spotted this.
Yep. but nobody's really watching. They're all working, right, in the place. They don't. She must not realize there's a camera on her.
Yeah, but that's the entire thing. They've been doing this stuff in front of the camera, and they're not smart about it.
Yeah, and look how the person kind of like
They weren't
casually.
scared of it either. They're used to getting away with it too.
That's the whole thing. They get arrogant.
Did she just slip it in her pocket? Let me backtrack
Yes.
there.
Hey, you subscribed. Does it feel good?
Hey, Coffee Talk with Sandra. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. Right here, it looks like she slides it in her back pocket or something here. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Drops it in her pocket. Unbelievable. Listen, I used to work for a large financial institution. I had like 30 people working for me. Thumb drives were never allowed around the computer. Even my laptop, I could not plug in a thumb drive to it. That's just a no-no because of fraud. I mean, I worked fraud for 16 years. So
It's not even for fraud. It's against malware and viruses.
yeah. Well, it prevents people from downloading and stealing accounts and information and.
Yeah, but the most common thing is people will just drop in their music with viruses and malware and infest the entire system, which leaves a backdoor or whatnot. That's the main reason why people don't want computers to be hooked up to those things.
Exactly. I mean, we went. This is in the 16 years I worked there. If I ran my operation like they ran these voting operations, and all of this information is, and what they call MPI or non-public information, like people's name, who voted, all of that, they handle it horribly. I mean, I probably would have fired everyone and said, "You're out of here, all of you." And they have no controls over this whatsoever. It's just a free-for-all. It's bad. It's government, though. What do you expect, right?
Well, yeah, all governments are crap.
What the hell kind of country is this where I can only hate a man if he's white?
Coffee Talk with Sandra. Thanks for the diamond. She says crazy. Yeah, it is crazy. It's
Do I look like I know what a JPEG is? I just want a picture of a goddamn hot dog.
I mean, we used to have to go through all kinds of management control process testing every quarter. And it was hundreds of pages, and it was a pain in the ass. But that way everybody was trained and on the same page, and you had to do it every quarter. That way there was no excuse, you know?
Well, I've worked for some companies where you would be crying because they'll have spreadsheets with formulas and they're like, don't touch those because if we lose the formula, we'll lose everything.
Yep.
Well, no company I've ever worked for has ever thought that ignorance was an excuse.
Well, I helped control our database that was for 4 sites, and every time somebody went in there that didn't know what they were doing, it took me like 2 days to fix it. Because they delete formulas and mess up formulas, and it was like 30 pages on a spreadsheet that were all interconnected to a database off-site. It was a nightmare.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Companies like that are a goldmine for people like me, because I'll be brought in for a project and I'll notice that, and I'm like, we're gonna place an automated backup for that, and that's gonna cost you this, but it's gonna save you so many man hours.
Yes. And think how much money those man hours cost.
Oh yeah, but it means I get a complete bump on my project pricing, and even though I'm doing complete different
Exactly.
projects, I'll do
But
it.
it helps them in the long run. I mean, if customers don't know enough to protect themselves, at least you advise them on ways to, back up their system.
I should have called you, Victor, because they used to call me when I was on vacation. Can you help us fix this? It was constant.
Well, the thing is, the reason why I always insist on that is I'll be working on a project, and then that project gets halted because someone deleted something. And that's the most annoying thing, because when a project gets halted, I don't get paid.
Mm-hmm.
I got another video here from who sent this to me? Hold on one second. Let me see who it was. Oh, Snow Bunny sent me another video. Let's Joe Biden voter. We interviewed. Okay, this is RSBN. They interviewed a Biden voter outside the governor's mansion in Atlanta. So this is a person that voted for Joe Biden. There was a protest apparently at the governor's mansion today in Atlanta. So let's see what happened here.
Every single name got a ballot, and that is not how this.
Oh, hold on. Let me turn this up. It's a little low. Here we go.
Country works. Should we interview our dead voter?
So she didn't want to actually interview
Okay.
the lady that was escorting this dead voter. Sir, why did you vote for Joe Biden? Can you tell us anything about his policies? Is there anything that stuck out to you about the Biden-Harris ticket? How long have you been a Democrat? He's shy. He's shy. No, guys, seriously, though. This is a pop-up event here. I guess I'll just hold this until somebody takes it away from me. Nothing weird about it at all. But I'm just hanging out with my buddy here for Joe Biden.
I think Mr. Dead Voter is going to go back to.
He's going to go back to his grave. He's going to go back to his grave now that he's done his job. But guys,
that is something that really bothers me. That there are so many votes from dead people. That just boggles my mind how we still have that happening.
Well, yeah, but every year there are more Democrat voters, man.
It just boggles my mind how in this country.
Hold on, I have a great song for that. I'll look at it.
In Iraq, they have a better voting system than we have in America. You got a blue ink on your finger. You can't vote again, and you have to prove who you are. Holy crap. Doc, you still there? Rusty, you still there?
I surely am. I was just sitting there thinking that's the reason why I took, like I said, I took Mama's death certificate down and made them take her off the voter rolls. Like she'd roll over in her grave or come back and haunt me if she thought she'd ever voted Democrat if she died.
But you shouldn't have
you
to
can
do that. You shouldn't have to, though. That's the
agree,
sad part.
But in the meantime, you can still do it. So if you have a loved one die, make sure they're taken off. Send their death certificate in. And call back and verify.
Somebody sent me a Twitter post, and I'm still trying to figure out what it is. But
that's the truth. She didn't want to die because she didn't want to vote Democrat.
Oh, I think it's Henry St. George Bumper Tucker Kimmy sent me Henry sent me a tweet from Mag's Quarantine Buddy. The world is celebrating along with us, American weirdo Trump. Oh, shit. You gotta be kidding me. Wait a minute. What is this? The Sunday Times says America great again because Joe Biden supposedly got elected.
Well, yeah, they want us to go back to the globalist ways. Those are
Oh,
globalist people.
look at this. America poised to dump Trump. Great news instead of fake news.
Sounds like a massive CCP campaign to me.
The
Yeah,
West
but,
Australian, few. With Biden on there. You're fired, Don, from the West Australian.
Dream on.
But Phil, I dropped it in the suggestion box on the Discord. That's
Okay.
You guys are gonna love this song, by the way.
Victor always comes up with some good songs.
I know,
Just-
I know my music.
Just ask Boogie. Oh, let me put it up on the screen. Why is YouTube doing this to me?
With a public service announcement. I just want to encourage everyone.
This is from a comic, by the way.
Upcoming
so-
election, but keep your eyes peeled and your feelers out for voter fraud. I had a personal experience in the last election, and I have a song here that'll tell you all about it. Grandpa was an Eagle Scout, a 33rd degree Mason, and he fought in the Second World War. Was a deacon down at the Baptist Church since 1964. Bought clothes for the homeless, toys for the orphans, on top of giving his tithe. Voted religiously, straight GOP, never missed an election in his life. So it took us by surprise when we heard on the news last night Grandpa voted Democrat. And I'm proud of that. Yeah, we thought it was a joke when the big news broke, but the show enough counted his vote. Now we're wondering how he cast it from inside his casket. This sure seems funny to me, how they got his absentee. Grandpa voted Democrat, now he'll never rest in peace. From the way it sounds, they had a good turnout down at the Mount Olive graveyard. Over 90% of the residents crossed over with their voter card. It's all over the news, and now they're arguing who's caught up in the voter fraud, and how a good man's name could be smeared this way while he's 6 feet under the sod. It sure took us by surprise. He's been dead since 95. Grandpa voted Democrat, and our family ain't proud of that. Yeah, we thought it was a joke when the big news broke, but the show enough counted his vote. Now we're wondering how he cast it down inside his casket. It sure seems funny to me, how they got his absentee. Grandpa voted Democrat, now he'll never rest in peace. This is 1 November, I don't want to remember. Grandpa voted Democrat, now he'll never rest in peace.
Oh.
That was good. That was like that one that I sent you that time about his dog voting Democrat.
That's just sad though. I mean, 1 or 2, okay, in a state. Yeah, okay, whatever. Somebody tried it, but they're talking about thousands. I mean, when you get into thousands, you got to kind of go, wait a minute, what the hell's going on?
Well, it's the way how they do it. Until they redistribute the counties again. So
Yeah.
that's something you have to be worried about as well.
Well, until they put the 11 million illegals as citizens, then just forget it. You're never going to win again. They won't even have to cheat.
That was why I was so mad at John Cornyn, because he's in favor of giving all the DACA people all the things, and said that when they got the new house in, that they would have to start negotiating at the point of, from the point of already letting the DACA people become citizens. And I'm going, bud, you just don't get it. You will lose your seat if Texas goes blue. You will never be elected again unless you are being funded by them and you turncoat on us. Oh, he just irritates me to death.
See, that is
a
really
rhino.
surprising. That is surprising. Never touched that.
Oh, no. Cornyn's been a rhino for a long time. The only reason I made myself vote for him was because we needed him. But as quick as I get a chance to primary that boy, I will work my tail off to help.
Just,
It's time for him to go.
Have you heard what's going on up in my district? They're still battling it out. They're still finding ballots for Brindisi in District 22.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
They keep on finding ballots until they finally get the vote.
Until they win it.
We're December 5th, and they're still finding ballots for Brindisi, so they can't call the election. But they found that dead people here voted too, on not absentee ballots, but mail-in voting. Yep.
Well, it takes time to dig them up and take their hand and write their initials on there.
Yeah. I don't think they're digging them up though. just don't want to worry anybody in the audience. They're not digging up Grandma and Grandpa. Don't worry.
Well, so far, they thought it'd help their cause. They'd do it. Just saying.
So now the latest in District 22. Here it is, December 5th. After the updates in Herkimer County, they just decided November 3rd that they have to recount the votes. I mean, they've done this like 5 times, and he hasn't won. So I think they're just going to keep counting until he wins.
Well, yeah, every time it counts, some other votes end up missing.
Yeah. Yeah, every recount will be different until he wins, right? So they're on their like
a seat flip in New York.
What's that?
Didn't a seat flip in New York?
I think 2 seats flipped in New York.
That's good. That's a start. This
would be another flip if they, after 12 recounts and she still wins. She's still winning by 12. Now it's down to 12 votes. On election night, she was winning by 30,000 votes. And
yeah, she's going to lose by 13 votes.
She's up by 12. They've counted, I think, twice now. He was ahead by 13. She was ahead. Then he went ahead by 13. But a lot of the mail-in ballots were either fraudulent or dead people. So he lost like 25 votes from that, and now she's in the lead again. So now he went to court for another recount. It's just...
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. Fortunately, it's Madison. And they're asking for a recount, but the judge only granted them Madison and Herkimer counties, which she does much better in than he does. So, fortunately, it's not Oneida County. Oh, sorry. Fortunately, it's not.
Matt. They done this.
Well, fortunately for her, it's not Oneida County, where all the Italians live and vote for Anthony because he's got an I at the end of his name. A vowel. Hey, you gotta vote for Tony. Brought a bring.
Well, they're terrible, Matt. They've done this 3 times, and he still hasn't won.
He won. He won one of the recounts. I think the second one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not to change subject, but This is pretty good. You need to listen to this. This guy Murray that I follow on Twitter said, breaking, at General Flynn said, I must have put the fear of God into Barack Obama, and I probably still do. One of these days, I'll lay it out. And then he goes on to say, one of these days, I'll lay it out. President Obama knew that at real Donald Trump was going to have me in some capacity in his administration. Clearly, when he chose me to be the National Security Advisor, they knew that their plan of spying on Donald Trump would fall apart, and many other foreign policy blunders they got our country into, whether it was the Iran deal, the Asian Pacific theater trade, all sorts of issues that were in play. The last administration did too, frankly, run this country right into the ground. They knew that those were the types of things that I was aware of. And somebody responded and put a clip of Mel Gibson in, what was the show? You know, where he gets disemboweled at the end. He's running with the flag. And the guy says, I wish this was after that last comment. And General Flynn responds to it and said, same here. Maybe one day we can take that hill together. God bless. Oh my gosh, that would be too cool. He is going to tell his story someday. He knows where all the bodies are buried.
Put him as director of the FBI. That's karma right there.
Yeah, it would be.
You got to be confirmed by Congress.
Yeah.
It ain't going to happen.
If we make the Congress through all this, maybe we could. Did y'all see those pictures? I think we were showing them last night of Joe Biden's already forgot which leg he's wearing his cast on. He's changed. They had pictures of him with it on different legs.
No, I think I saw that last night.
That was funny.
Yeah, I think he had another stroke, so they made up the whole sprained ankle excuse for his wobbly feet.
Yeah, and if you saw that interview where he and Kamala sat down, he was doing a lot of doing a lot of something was definitely not right with him. And on top of it,
what interview was this, babe?
Where he and Kamala sat down just a couple of days ago with for an interview together, where he said that if we have a disagreement, I'll just say I have a disease and resign.
Oh yeah. I did see a clip of that.
That was strange. That was really strange.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're already foretelling what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Foreshadowing.
Because the reason why they kept Joe in the basement is he couldn't run a campaign, and the few times he was clairvoyant, they propped him up with medication.
Exactly. They can't, but they knew they could not keep it up the whole campaign, and why detract from it when they knew they had it in the bag with all the cheating? I'm just saying, they knew it, and he said that I don't have to get out and campaign. I don't need your vote. He knew. He just slipped. It was a Freudian slip.
Yeah, he did say that. I don't need your vote.
He says, I don't need your vote, because he knew they already had it covered with the cheating. They've had this planned out for a long time.
It's not even a slip,
if you read Q's been alluding to this for quite some time, and that's also why if you do read Q, you're not really surprised by any of the ugliness, and you know it's going to get worse. Even after the inauguration, it's going to get worse for a while. So there's that.
Now, somebody last night said that he was on probation. I don't think so. And that's why somebody in the chat, I think, said that
who's in probation?
Biden's on probation, and that's why he's got a boot on. But that's just, I don't believe that at all.
I haven't seen any evidence to point to that at all.
No,
because technically we're still in an election, and they're not going to nab him right now.
Well, it'd be public record if he's on probation. That means he's been convicted of a crime.
Yeah,
unless you have secret courts. It might
not be coming, but I don't think it's happened yet myself.
Well, unless you have secret courts, that can't happen Joe Biden being convicted of a crime and nobody knowing about it. Just saying. And I think the logic was that's why he didn't leave Delaware, but he did. And if you're on probation, you can't leave your state.
You can't leave your state.
No, absolutely not. There's no exceptions.
Well, and
if it's a crime,
I think it's going to be coming where they get him. But
yeah,
I think that's why he has laid this dementia defense from way back, is because he knew what was coming.
Well, he might have dementia too, though. That's
it might be both.
Yeah,
but there's just been, if there was a real interesting article I read. If you're a Q reader, Q has posed that question. Is this real, or is this manipulated, or is this both? Is this preparation for defense? And I read some really interesting articles about that question. And the amount of time that he's had to do this and lay this groundwork is totally plausible. But the physical features that comes also with dementia, he has. Yep. Because if you've ever been a caretaker for someone that's had dementia or Alzheimer's, they do acquire certain physical characteristics that makes it a little bit easier to spot. His eyes, I don't explain it, they kind of get that almond shape, and they get real cloudy, and that's not something you can affect.
He holds his head too when he gets stuck. That's a common thing. My neighbor was doing that. Like brain work.
Yeah.
Yeah, my neighbor did that exact thing.
I know somebody who went through that, and I've never seen them hold their head, but I'm more looking for behavioral. Like, he does get angry, quite easy.
Combative.
So I think he's in early stages.
Mm-hmm. And it may be that he has the early stages and that he is capitalizing on it as a defense. So I don't know. There's just nothing, unfortunately, because of what we know about him and his family, there's nothing that I wouldn't put past him. And that's a really low thing to say about somebody.
Jill let it slip. He has had 3 strokes.
Yes. He's had brain surgery.
Yep. Couple times.
Yes.
And there's only so much tooling you can do before you gotta admit defeat.
Yeah.
Well, and the brain there's still so much they don't know about it. And anytime you mess with it like that, several times, and all of his other health issues, that can't be good. I'm just saying the brain can only take so much trauma.
Well, a real good sign is when, I think the last time he was on stage, it was at night, I guess Jill spoke, and then he was ready to speak again, and they pulled him back. He says, we're going.
Yeah. Sundowner. He has Sundowner's syndrome. You know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
They get worse at night. And that's common amongst the elderly population at large, not just people with dementia or with Alzheimer's, but there's a syndrome called Sundowner syndrome, and they just become kind of disoriented and worse at night. I know I think my mom kind of had a little bit of that. So.
Yeah, but that has to do with diminished eyesight, I believe.
I beg your pardon?
Diminished eyesight.
The diminished eyesight?
Because you can't see clearly enough, so you start to wobble.
Well, and it also affects their thinking and stuff. They get real confused. It's interesting.
He does get confused a lot. Because he forgets what he was talking about. He does that a lot.
Uh-huh. But, again, I hate to point that out, that could be real and that can be affected. And by the word affected, I mean adopted. as a mannerism. So you have to always just kind of keep in the back of your mind, I think, that, you know, they know what's coming. They've known what was coming. They know what they've got at stake, and that's why they're fighting so hard.
Well, I don't
So
know
I just,
how this is
unfortunately, don't put anything past them.
going to happen with a completely corrupt FBI. I mean, are they even doing anything? I mean, for
I don't
God's
think
sakes.
that's going to stand, though.
They
Once
haven't
Post
done-
gets reelected and he's a lame duck,
They haven't done.
He's going to go to town.
He's going to have to get rid of the entire FBI because,
Yeah.
quite frankly,
And the
they
CIA.
suck. Yeah.
If you're a Q reader, Q says they're not cleanable, that they're too corrupt through and through, and that they will be disbanded and or reorganized and moved under another organization. Hinting, I took it as maybe the NSA or something.
Well,
I don't know.
You can see it with your eyes though over the last how many years where Hillary didn't get prosecuted, made major crimes. I mean, anybody else would have gone to jail. Hunter Biden's laptop, they had it for over a year now.
How long? Mm-hmm.
And the guy's still walking around. I mean, how many?
Had the Wiener laptop for 2
yeah,
or 3 years.
whatever
now.
happened to that? Nobody ever heard another word about that.
You never hear a word.
The Fast and Furious investigation, nobody got in any trouble for that. Benghazi, nobody got in any trouble. It's just a
what
joke
about the
now.
Biden laptops? They've said that there was 3 of them. Well, where's all the info from the rest of them? And what are they doing with it? Now, I do believe that Durham has been working, and I'm hopeful that I understand. I can't remember if it was X-22 report. One of them was talking about the fact that they've seen some things that leads them to believe that there's about to, be some indictments from Durham that we're about to hear from Durham. But I don't know.
I'm getting to the point of being not hopeful anymore because we keep hearing that any day now.
I know.
Any day now.
I understand.
How many? I said the other day, if I had a penny for if I had a penny for every Twitter post I saw that said something big is about to happen, I'd be a millionaire.
Well, there was one thing today that is tone setting that I do think is going to be very important in the long run, and that is that they wanted prison time for Kleinsmith, and so they all thought that he was going to get off with just a slap on the wrist, but they're going after him. They're going to give him prison time.
Well, could it be because he's not talking? I mean, that's a possibility too.
Could be, or it could be that they're negotiating a plea deal on time, and he's putting the screws to Kleinsmith. You better talk and talk bigger. You ain't going to get much.
So if in all this time he hasn't talked, and now they're talking about putting him in prison, that's a long stretch before they made that decision.
They went before the judge and recommended prison time.
But I'm saying that's a long stretch from the time they charged him.
Oh, yeah. Which,
look how fast they went to Roger Stone's house.
He could have made a deal with them and then say, now your crimes are too severe. You've got to serve some prison time. And what you give us determines the length that we recommend. Now that I've seen that happen because they tried that on one of the federal cases I testified in. But, there's still too much in play. You can't really deduce anything from it, whether he's talked shit or not. We got to see the terms.
I mean, after they charged him,
what they give him,
they didn't even give him the Roger Stone treatment. I mean, this guy got the walk-in,
Yeah, because that's the way our side does it. We do things in a tasteful manner, most of the time.
Yeah, but it's the same FBI. It's no different than the other FBI.
But it's not equal treatment. But we've known that all along too. But I do, I used to think that the rank and file, that there was hope
No.
that maybe the rank and file was not corrupt and that it was just the upper echelon. But I think the sheer length of time that all this has passed on all of these cases points right there to the very fact that it goes through and through. You know, a lot of these people were hired for that reason as soldiers in their army,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because a lot of them were hired during this time. So, you know, maybe it's naive of us to think that it's not, or, you know, of us in the past to have not thought that it was the rank and file as well. But I think we see that clearly now. That's for darn sure. And the CIA, how corrupt they are.
It's not necessarily the rank and file. It's the same problem you have in hospitals as well. How many doctors do you have, and how many administrators do you have? That's where the corruption lies, because they are working to keep that job.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll bring in anyone that will keep their job.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. They've hired a lot of people that believe like them or that will be bought, you know. So we know that a lot of these people are of the same ilk, you know.
Yep.
And if they weren't, why didn't they do anything? I mean, was there not one of them that was willing to, you know, scream loud enough and jump up and down until, you know, they got some attention to walk away? I mean, the only few that I've known, I guess, Robin, what's her name? Robin Griff or Robin. She was one of the few that I've seen. I mean, there was a handful, but there should be more.
Yep. Yeah.
If
you know why?
rank and file were truly not corrupt.
Government benefits, government pension. After 20 years, you're set for life.
Exactly. And they can't get fired.
No.
Although recently we did cover that POTUS has put that executive order in that is making it easier for them to be fired. So that is a step in the right direction. But I don't think they should be able to unionize if they're a federal worker. I don't think that they ought to have any protections that the private sector does not have.
That's when it all started, Doc.
It is BS that we pay them less than the private sector does. That is BS, because by the time you add in their pension, their benefits, their time off, their pay, everything, they make more than anybody in the private sector does. And that is wrong. Our government, it should be just like being a teacher or anything else. It should be something. I'm not saying that they should not be paid a decent wage. Yes, a decent wage, but only a decent wage.
Well, get rid of the public union, and 90% of the problem solved. Just like the teachers.
Right there.
I hear this all the time. Thank a teacher. All teachers are awesome. Blah blah blah.
No,
there's teachers that are horrible.
Very ugly, very evil.
There's terrible teachers we can't get rid of because of the teachers union.
Yes, and you know what? You know who suffers the most from that? The good teachers, because they have to put up with the BS from the ones that aren't carrying their weight.
Yep.
And that's the ones that really suffer. And there's a lot of them. There really is. There's a lot of really wonderful teachers. Like we have Jenny Briggs in our group. You know, she is a fabulous teacher. My sister taught for 21 years. She was a wonderful teacher. There's many good ones, but they are the ones that suffer because of the ones that don't carry their weight, the ones that were, you know, are allowed to continue to be in a profession when they're not really qualified for it, or they, you know, step over the lines in some shape, form, or fashion. Instead, they reassign them. One of the biggest problems, is, particularly in New York, Phil, is all of the unionized teachers that have been had complaints filed against them. That all they do is they assign them to this. I can't even remember now what it's called.
The rubber room. It's called the rubber room.
Yep. Where they report to. Yes.
And they work online.
And do you know there's people that have been there for years?
They have jobs online with
nothing.
They have jobs online with other companies, collect their
Yes.
teachers' pay, and pay from working on their laptop all day. Yep.
Yes. Doing absolutely nothing to earn the taxpayer dollar.
Yep.
Just because they don't want to have to deal with them.
I heard tale, and this is a true tale, but I won't tell you which district or what school it was, but this is true. A teacher was fired for drinking on the job. Okay? That should be a simple no-brainer, right? You can't drink on the job. You're fired, especially around kids. Teachers union sued the school district and won. They had to pay this teacher to sit at home.
Yeah. Oh, I've got one that'll top that. I managed the dropout prevention program for 15 years. We had, we covered 35 school districts around the Metroplex. And I'm going to tell you, I saw on more than one occasion teachers that were accused of doing vile things with students, such as, wildly inappropriate things. And they sued and got put back in the classroom, and all they did was move them to another freaking school. And it went as high as the principal in the schools. And I've seen that on more than one occasion.
Project Veritas did a piece on that. They were having messing around with kids, and they just moved into another district.
Victor, you were going to say something there?
Yeah, well, the main problem is the monopolization of unions. Unions on its own are not bad, but the problem is if there's only one union. That's the problem, because...
Well, I think that there's some industries that should not be able to be unionized. I don't care how many there are. I think that if you're in the public sector, you should not be able to unionize. If you're in the federal government, I'm very against that. Why do you think that having more would help?
Well, because here, Victor, it turned into a slush fund for one party, is what happened. Like NYSA in New York is the teachers union. They donate all of their money to nothing but Democrats. And then the Democrats get into office and say, we have to pay our teachers more. So they raise the dues and get more money for their campaigns. It's just
it's mandatory that you have to join and and pay dues whether you want to or not.
Well, not New York, but they're going to change it back.
Those two things are a problem. Mandatory unionization and a single union. Because over here in the Netherlands, we had a teachers union that was a single entity. We broke it up. And now the playing field is being leveled. Same thing we had with the doctors union. It got broken up. The playing field got leveled. Because before that, you could do nothing against your doctor. And
but the original concept of a union was to give people power where there was no laws to do that. In today's world, we're so mandated by laws, equal pay for this and for that, and because the industries are competitive, particularly if we continue on the path towards assigning the money to the child rather than the school, that to me is going to be the biggest game changer in education, because it's going to encourage competition. And to me, I would rather see, rather than unions, I would rather see the schools compete for good teachers so that they have, good pay and good benefits offered to them readily. However, you have to have the credentials and the skill level to qualify for those funds. In the years past, when unions became a thing, it was because the government, the laws were not protecting people. Today, they're so mandated, honey. You step out of line over one little thing, they're going to sue your pants off. So I just don't see the need for it as much in a lot of sectors. Now, given that there are some industries that do need that.
Unions are still needed simply because you can't afford a lawsuit. If you can't afford a lawsuit,
to take a case on contingency over just about anything in America. I can promise you that.
here, but to Victor's point, if you can't get rid of NYSA in New York State, which is almost going to be impossible, if you popped another union in there and had
It
some
would give
competition,
competition, yes.
yeah, it
I
would
can
be
see where
better.
that would be very good. Yes, I agree with you there. I just would, just in certain industries and sectors of, like the federal government, state government, stuff like that, I just don't think they ought to be able to be unionized.
Well, because it's turned into a money laundering operation, basically.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's a weapon.
Yep.
It is just a financial weapon for the Democrats.
That's the entire problem. Bill Gates deregulated everything, giving rise to single monolithic unions, and that's kind of the problem. Because if you break up the union, and even in 2 or 3 pieces, things will change rapidly. Because one union will have the better teachers, and the other union will have the better schools. For instance, they're going to be trading off each other. But if you have
if in areas where we can't do away with the union, I would see that as a viable option.
Well,
Definitely.
mandatory unionization is something that needs to be abolished. Period. Because
I just would like to see a lot of them abolished.
Well,
I'm just more of a free spirit than that.
No, but the main thing is it's going to give them credence to survive. It's like you're going to have a bank account. That's the only reason why we still have banks.
Yeah.
Because if we didn't need a bank account, a lot of banks would have failed.
Well, in New York, if you had 2 unions, the districts have more bargaining power. Right now, they have 0. They can't. The union says, if you don't do what we say and give us what we want, we're going on strike. But if you got another union, at least, and they say, okay, we'll negotiate with the district, and we understand, or whatever,
but they wouldn't.
they're reasonable.
The other union would be begging them to stand with them. If you don't, then unions aren't going to have any power. That's what they'd say. Oh, you got to come stand, and then they'd end up, both the unions would end up standing together. I mean,
well, you don't know that for sure, but it's better than what we got now, because we got NYSA, and that's
I
it.
agree. In areas where you can't get rid of them, I do. But again, that goes to my whole point. I think there's a lot of sectors that it just ought to be not against the law for them to unionize.
Yeah, but that's where you break up the mandatory unionization thing.
Yeah.
Because then teachers can make their own decision. If your union says you're going
I agree.
break,
I agree.
and you as a teacher
can't
go, well,
recommend.
screw that. You just break off the union. That's it.
I'm just a employee at will. Everybody get up there and create their own. Never have been in union. Just really don't believe in it much. I'm just kind of old school like that.
That's like the UAW. A lot of people do not agree with them back in the Democrat Party, yet all their dues go there.
Well, that's why that's why the
to.
politicians stand up on the podium and say, "I'm with you, union workers," because they're getting money from them. It's just it's a sweet gig. The mob got arrested for that shit, but if you're a politician, it's cool.
It's big old one hand greasing the other. I'm telling you.
And they tell you how to vote too.
Yeah, but that's going to pick up the democratic educated high schools, universities as well, because the minute mandatory unionization is no longer an option, teachers are just going to go, well, if I'm going to have to toe the line or be not be unionized, I'm going to step out of the union. And what you will get then is they'll form their own micro unions, if you will. And that's kind of the thing. Those micro unions will guarantee even education on both aisles of the political line. And that's kind of the thing where you need to break things up.
The only real experience I've had with it is, my husband's company is a white collar company, obviously, and the union came in and did a hostile takeover. And it was unfortunate because they had it was such a rich benefits company that they ended up that a bunch had to take pay cuts. Had my husband lost like 2 weeks of vacation time, and because his pay was already over what they renegotiated as a bracket, he didn't get a raise for years, and he had to pay dues for a long time regardless. And then they made it here where it wasn't mandatory, but you're ostracized pretty much if you don't. And regardless, the union reps are so corrupt that they don't do anything. It doesn't matter. The one time he did have a issue that he wanted help with, they didn't even do anything. They just sit there. So I just, that reinforced my negative view. Because it did nothing but hurt the people in his department when they did that hostile takeover.
But that's the entire problem. Because the minute a union is pretty much above the law, let's be honest, because they're going to rake in money whether they'll do good for you or not.
Or not, exactly. But they got you by the cojones because they come in whether you voted for them or not.
And
yep, you do one way or the other.
And that's the problem. That's what turned these unions in monolithic structures. The mandatory unionization needs to be abolished, and the unions currently that stand need to be broken up. It's the same thing that almost happened to Microsoft in the 90s. Those things need to happen simply because there is no competition. Yep. And without competition, you'll end up in a dictatorship.
A monster. That's right. Exactly.
That's what needs to
Hey, did anybody hear? I'm sorry, Rusty. Go ahead, bud.
Oh, that has to be done to the big tech companies as well.
Well, that's the entire thing.
That's what I was going to say.
Going to happen, and then Bill Gates Bill Clinton stepped in, and the whole problem went away.
Yeah, but it's coming back now. And boy, POTUS was going after them. Did anybody get an update on what's going on with IBM and Cloud Hub? How they just with no notice went in and took off a lot of the videos off of Cloud Hub's platform?
I heard
just willy-nilly.
They're supposed to be back up and running next week, possibly.
Yeah, but I think it's because they did their own thing. They went around IBM. But that was pretty damn nervy, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Because IBM is just a server kind of thing. It's that they were using. And it was my understanding they were not the main vendor. And so for them to just step in and do that, that was just pretty damn nervy. And out in the open. So anybody, in our audience needs to keep that in mind when you're looking at IBM products. They're a monster. They just showed themselves big time.
Do you know the story of Microsoft doing a circle jerk and suing itself for getting money?
Mm-hmm. Somewhat.
That happened in the 90s, where you had they had the ART code, which basically prevented any other they had their own DOS version. Any other DOS versions would automatically make Windows 3.11 crash and Windows even up to Windows 95 crash.
Isn't that something?
They got sued, but what their solution was, they bought themselves on the board of the company that sued them, split up the company, and in the end, the company that it became a free peace company, and the only part that kept on suing was Microsoft themselves, because that way they could iron things out even further through legislation.
Isn't that something? Now talk about smart. That was smart. Devious, but smart. Somebody was thinking outside the box on that one. I'm saying. You do have to admire brilliance when you see it, even if it's on the wrong side.
see anything new
Well,
out there.
Apple did the same thing with their products and the likes, and even up to Windows XP, Microsoft has been doing the whole thing. Currently, they're buying themselves into Unix, which is a frightening endeavor. So, which is going to mean free distributions of Unix software won't be allowed, like any Linux version.
Ooh,
Yeah, they're buying themselves in to kill the competition.
interesting. Yeah, well, there's a lot of people that have employed that technique.
Sneaky.
Mm-hmm. Buy
Yes,
their
'cause-
competition out.
Well, the thing with the Unix code is basically other companies are allowed to use the Unix code to build a free distribution or a paid distribution. When they do a paid distribution, they pay Unix. But when Microsoft starts to own the Unix code, all those Linux companies, SUSE, all the Slackware, Red Hat, Fedora, all those lovely companies won't have any way, shape, or form a chance with their software, because they use the Unix code, and that's copyrighted by Microsoft pretty soon.
Well, how about this? Whilst we're talking about Google and YouTube and all of that, they're in the process of buying up a bunch of people. I don't know who, but they're in the process of wiping out a bunch of social media companies right now, trying to make some buyouts.
Well, if they don't flat out buy out the company, they'll all sit on the board.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why you're seeing a lot of different platforms start to de-platform people, and you're going, why? Why do they do that? Well, you find out, well, Google owns them now, or they're a subsidiary of some other company that's owned by Google, But it's starting to happen. They're starting to buy more companies. So while they're in the middle of an antitrust lawsuit, they're buying companies.
That's nervy too, isn't it?
Yeah. They don't care.
They don't care.
Out in the open.
Over here in Europe, those things are not allowed, but pay attention to the British market. As Brexit is completing, a lot of American companies are going to buy up a whole slew of British companies. And it's going to ruin Britain for good, to be honest. Because Britain currently has zero money, simply due to the half Brexit move they did, and now thanks to the COVID as well. So it's going to be a buy-up frenzy pretty soon.
That and will these companies follow, because the UK has much stricter laws on hate speech and things like that. Will these companies start adopting that?
Yeah, but that's the thing. They're going to adopt the whole stricter the anti-discrimination laws and whatnot, and that's going to boomerang right back into Canada, in America, and Australia.
Yep.
And that's kind of the problem. The U.S. government, Canadian government, everyone else, every English government currently needs to work on their corporate laws, because they've been pretty much gone. We don't need laws. Let's make it the Wild Wild West and see how that goes.
Yep. That's why we have Walmart and nothing but box stores now, everywhere, corporate stores.
And that's the reason why they're allowed to operate and your local business isn't.
Yep.
Because they became too big, where if you close them down for even a week, their stock portfolio is going to drop so low, they're going to have to forfeit half of their stores.
Yeah, it's going to crash the economy.
That's why I said
because
at the
they
beginning.
let them get too big.
I said at the beginning of the show, if you're going to protest lockdowns and small businesses getting hurt, go block Walmart's entrance for a week and see what happens.
Exactly. And Target and all those, and stop buying from Amazon.
Don't protest the COVID laws. protest, why are these stores still open?
That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Go there and say, why is Walmart open?
Why are they dangerous? And I'm not. I sent you a video that.
Just say, this is dangerous. Look, start counting people. How many people are in the store? This is dangerous. Look how many people are in the store. That's all you got to do. Count heads.
That video I sent you for the show, of the woman, it was the most heartbreaking thing, and it exemplifies this exactly. You need to play that if you can.
This one was, I watched it. It was maddening because you got to see this.
Is this the woman?
Yeah. Here it is.
Oh, dear God. So sad.
Oh, where is it? Come on.
So this is my place, the Pineapple Hill Grill and Saloon. If you go to my page, you can see all the work I did for outdoor dining, for tables being 7 feet apart. And I come in today because I'm organizing a protest, and I came in to get stuff for that. And I walk into my parking lot, and obviously Mayor Garcetti has approved this. Has approved this being set up for a movie company. I'm losing everything. Everything I own is being taken away from me. And they set up a movie company right next to my outdoor patio, which is right over here.
Now, she's got the same setup as the movie company's dining area, but she had to close. The movie theater just got, their dining situation just got set up outside, and they're allowed to eat there, but she can't.
The dining area is even better.
Yeah, I can't, it boggles my mind.
Higher.
Yeah, exactly.
And people wonder why I'm protesting and why I have had enough. They have not given us money, and they have shut us down. We cannot survive. My staff cannot survive. Look at this. Tell me that this is dangerous, but right next to me, as a slap in my face, that's safe. This is safe. 50 feet away. This is dangerous. Mayor Garcetti and Gavin Newsom is responsible for every single person that doesn't have unemployment, that does not have a job, and all the businesses that are going under. And we need your help. We need somebody to do something about this.
And unless you drag them out of their house, nothing is going to change, because they're sitting on a pile of money and they don't care.
No, they don't. They absolutely don't care.
Mm.
Horrible.
It is so heartbreaking. And you know, why couldn't they have hired her to do that catering? Mm.
She's losing everything. Her employees.
It.
If she's losing everything,
they're highly unionized.
If she's losing everything, what are her employees doing? Because they're not working either, and they've got even less than her.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's so many in that situation. Just absolutely makes your blood boil.
That's just one person, though. There are tens of thousands of people like her across the country right now. 1/3 of New York's businesses are gone forever. 1/3 of them. And they're still talking about locking down again. I don't. What do you do at this point?
You're going to face at least 2 more lockdowns if Biden wins, and even if Trump wins, because the whole cure vaccine thing isn't going to happen until fall. Until then, countries are starting to lock down.
Well, he's estimating that the vaccine should start being available within 2 weeks. I will tell you what's interesting is the companies that are going to be requiring you to have a vaccine to come back to work. There's already been, my husband's company's already told them that.
Well, all the corporations are going to do it.
In the office,
all the corporations are going to do it right away, and then they're going to tell the politicians are going to tell all these restaurant owners like her, if your people don't have a certificate of vaccination, you can't open.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They
and they'll
already
use
said,
the health department.
Well, they already said they're doing it in multiple waves. Guess what? The corporation people, they're going to get vaccinated first.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to wait for the second, third, or fourth wave before your business gets reopened.
And they aren't going to have enough doses until the fall of next year.
Exactly.
What's amazing is, in my town, there's been 3 new businesses open. This is kind of a bad time to start a business, really.
Well, if you already had the plans in the works and the money from the bank and whatever,
been allocated, you have to spend it.
Unfortunate for them, they're not going to last very long because a brand new business has to be open.
Yeah, they do. And they have such a slim margin of profit that it's very few restaurants make it to the 5-year mark. Very few. It's a very, very
you guys don't
tumultuous industry.
You guys don't have.
They got all motherfuckers locked down. Everybody afraid of shit. I'm
hold
on.
Bullshit.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Hold on.
What did you say, darling?
You guys don't have startup loan insurance where you'll take a hit, but you don't take a loss. Where basically, my startup isn't going to happen because of certain planning or whatever that comes after.
If you're smart enough to have it built into your contract, you can't. It is available.
In New York State, if you're a minority or a woman, the state provides it for you. If you're a dude like me, you're fucked. Yeah, you're on your own.
Fair, isn't it? That's real fair.
Yep.
And yet you pay the same amount of taxes they do.
Oh, hell yeah.
They don't tell them because you're a man and you're having to pay more that you should get taxed less.
And if anybody thinks I'm making that up, go to the state's website. It's like, if you need help and you're a minority, a woman, I'm like, where's the white guy thing? I don't see it there.
If you have a loan through the SBA, there's a lot of protections.
There's an easy solution, Phil. Have your wife start up your company.
I should just turn it over to her.
Really?
There you go.
Yeah.
You should run it in her name.
You have no idea how many people have done that.
Oh, yeah. They have. In fact, I have a customer that is a duo team. It's a husband and wife team. And due to the legalities of their profession, it's kind of a unique situation. And the amount of exposure for them in this company, it was so great that they just secretly went and got divorced. And though they still present themselves, which if you really wanted to get down to it, in Texas, if you present yourself as man and wife, you are man and wife, common law married, because we have about 30 million different ways you need common law. But they'd have to know to look for it is the thing. But anyway, they divorced and just lived together to reduce their legal and financial exposure. And they've been married for, I don't know, 23, 24 years. A lot of years. I mean, they still live together and everything, but legally they're divorced.
I got a video here from Kitty B about if they don't end these lockdowns, fears of social order breakdown, what is next? So let's see what Kitty sent us. Kitty B with the links.
As they got all motherfuckers locked down, everybody afraid of shit. I'm gonna catch some bullshit. what you need to do, man, is you need to keep your wits about you. If you're in these fucked up areas like New York and shit, kiss my ass, your ass is gonna die. Yeah, you living in the heat of oppression, that motherfucker, man. You gotta get the fuck out of there, man. You know, everybody, oh, associate, how dare you leave New York, man? But get the fuck out. You better get the fuck out, man. Because what's gonna happen is niggas gonna lose their mind. Shit is bored enough, you know, and it's only a matter of time till some niggas bring some road flares, hey, and spice motherfuckers' life up, you know. So, I might even have to teach some of that. You know, what to do with a road flare. You know, if the government shut everything down, how can you get back to the government with a road flare? Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. There's ways to do it. You know, road flares are cool because, you know, if these cops start getting out of pocket and start acting stupid and they bring the National Guard out in this motherfucker, you're gonna want some road flares in your kit. You know what I'm saying? Keep them in the trunk of your car and have them, you know, just in case these motherfuckers try to say, oh, we're gonna lock it down another month. We're gonna do it another month. Oh, it's gonna be another month. Oh, no, nigga, I'm gonna burn all your shit down. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to City Hall. I'm going to the police station. I'm going to the fire station. Yeah, nigga. And then well, I'm not gonna telegraph nothing, but I'm telling you, if it goes that way, motherfucker, I can get down. You wanna see some destructive shit? Watch a motherfucker do. Watch a motherfucker organize some motherfuckers start some shit. Get you some road flares, nigga.
Jacobby Jones is a no good nigga.
Oh, Jesus.
Don't kiss that guy.
Oh, Jesus.
Like a nigga say do. Like a nigga say do.
If you buy road flares, pay cash. It's funny, but there is some truth to it because some people are just gonna lose it eventually if they keep doing this. I mean, seriously. Some people are about to do something.
I think we are close to it. There's a lot of people.
Yep.
I mean, that are not faring well with this.
No.
I mean,
we're back to, we've been pushed back once again to the 15th.
There's going to come a point where people are going to say, that's it. I'm done. It doesn't matter anymore. I go to jail. I don't care. Right? At least I'll get to eat. Right? I mean,
well, you hope, but you know, it also depends on what kind of sheriff you have, and you know, if they're willing to enforce it. You know, because it doesn't matter what the governor orders if the sheriffs and them don't enforce it, really. I mean, if it, you know, really comes down to it.
You're starting to see small protests. They're going to start growing here if this continues. I'm just telling you. You can feel it.
Oh yeah.
You can sense it in the neighborhoods. You can, when you go out somewhere, people are like tense because a lot of people are losing their livelihoods, everything they own. At some point, they're going to snap.
Yeah, they are.
People, this is something that the government is underestimating. If people are starting to lose their jobs, they have nothing to lose. And people who have nothing to lose become scary people.
Yep.
Very dangerous. You're exactly right.
And especially the organized groups, they're the scariest of all, because they're just gonna grab a gun and start shooting stuff up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will. Well, and I hate to remind everybody, but there's a lot of militias and a lot of people, you know, that hadn't been happy for a long time, and this isn't going to help.
Yeah, we got, I would say about 5 miles from my house or some.
Well, here's the thing with the militias. Militias are preppers, and the preppers are going to be fine. It's your common house neighbor, suburbia. Suburbia is going to have a problem.
Yep.
And
well,
those
I'm in the
people
suburb,
will become
but
quite erratic and frantic.
I'm in the first category. I'm a prepper. I already got it mapped out. We've been studying and preparing.
I mean, at what point? how many times are they going to just keep locking it down, let you get out?
As
Like
many as they get the
Boogie
chance
said,
to take total control of
we'll
our
give
country.
we'll give you a little more of your freedom back. Oh, we got to take it back. Here's some freedoms we're going to
That's
give
the
you.
thing.
Oh,
We'll
we're taking it
never
back.
be free again, ever. If we do not stand up to them, we will never be free of this.
The problem,
and I firmly believe if Trump doesn't win, we will never be free of this.
the problem
I really
is
firmly believe that.
only half of the country is on board with saying enough of the lockdowns. The other half is going, lock it down, wear a mask, and close down everything. It just boggles your mind.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Phil. Over here in the Netherlands, the Dutch government is currently covering 90% of the wages.
Mm-hmm.
We already having protests of people who just want to go to work.
Here's the thing, man.
Oh,
the
all
wages
this
are
stuff
covered
about-
over here, but people have nothing to do. We can't go to a pub because that closes around 8. And
Well, it's
most places are closed.
Yeah, it's states like New York and California and Portland, all them are suffering the most.
Yeah, but that's helping them. That's the big irony. That's why they let Black Lives Matter and Antifa run amok, because that's helping their base.
Yep.
True.
Yep, and the most populous states that are locking down. For the most part. New York, California, Michigan. I mean, it's all big, liberal, large city strongholds, right?
Well, right now I'm trying to find out how the hearings for her impeachment are moving along. I haven't found nothing yet.
That won't happen fast enough. She basically told your Supreme Court to go fuck themselves. She's going to do what she wants to do.
She did. And so is her AG. So is our Secretary of State. It's like, I'm going to do what I want to do.
In case you didn't know, Victor, the Supreme Court of Michigan told her she's exceeded her authority and she needs to stop. And she doubled down on it and said, make me stop. I'm doing it anyway.
She went through the health department.
Well, here's the thing. She knows she just has to ride out until the 20th of January.
Yep.
So, who's going to come down on her? Because
Well, we have
he's going to make a hero out of her.
Yeah. Biden will.
Well, we have a Republican House and Senate. And that's when they took her powers away.
But it didn't matter because she's still using them.
I know it.
That's the thing.
And
at this point, federal intervention needs to happen, and federal is not going to do anything if Biden is president.
No, and if they what are they trying to do? Impeach her? If they remove her from office, she'll be in the Biden administration. So.
See, that's what she was. You know what? I'm telling you right now, that's what she was hitting on because she was on the short list.
She's wanted to, yes. She wanted to be the VP pick. She looks like Snow White's evil stepmother.
I mean, that's saying a lot. The Supreme Court of Michigan and the representatives in your whatever it is, Assembly and Senate, told her stop. And she said no, and there's nothing anybody's doing about it.
She gave him the big middle finger, didn't she?
Yeah, she told him, fuck you, I'm doing it anyway.
Well, we got two major backings to push forward to an impeachment.
I mean...
Yeah, but at this point, you kind of have to say, what is law enforcement going to do?
Yeah,
because if the court isn't behind you, why do you listen to the person?
Right, you've already had the Supreme Court tell her no, and she said, "I don't care, I'm doing it." I mean, but this is,
and that's where again the unions come into play, where the police unions pretty much tell the cops you're gonna have to toe the line.
Now, why isn't the Supreme Court of Michigan said, okay, fine, you want to be like that? Here is a writ right to the state, the head of the state police. Go arrest this bitch.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do it? Now you got to wait for an impeachment? Seriously?
Question. Because conservatives are the majority in the Supreme Court, but I did not find out we had 2 empty seats on the third, and I haven't seen who won.
But if it doesn't matter who won on the third. If a court had already told her, you've exceeded your authority, stop, it doesn't matter who comes in after the fact. The court still made a ruling, right? And she's outright disobeying it. Nobody's stopping her.
Exactly, and that's the thing. If you're a cop in Michigan, all you have to do is drive over to her house and arrest her.
Yeah.
You have the warrant.
Put her, You don't even. You can pick her up on the street. You don't even have to have a warrant to breach her house. The minute you see her tags, you pull them over and arrest them.
Well,
but that's the thing. You gotta have the balls to do it and not be worried about your pension plan.
They can arrest her for violating.
Next time she wants to go get her boat out of the water.
They can arrest her for violating a court order.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
They can not just for that, but also for illegal orders. A breach of, breach of governmental position. All those kind of things. Any district attorney can easily slap 15 things on her. But the police union won't allow that. And that's the problem with the unions being such monolithic structures.
Yep. That's why New York hasn't done it. Nobody's going to do anything about Cuomo. He's just as bad. If not worse.
I think Cuomo's worse.
I mean, look at the Supreme Court of the United States told Andrew Cuomo, or what was it, Gavin Newsom? No, Cuomo, that he lost. The state of New York lost on how many people can attend a church service. He said he didn't care. He's still going to enforce it. The Supreme Court of the United States told him, no, you can't do that. And he said, I don't care. I mean,
somebody are doing her job.
So why even have a Supreme Court if you're going to have a governor say, nah, so what? Right?
Well, no, here's the thing. The minute someone goes against the law, you have a tyrant. And you should address the person as such. And that's something that needs to stick around in social media, wherever. Put pamphlets around town. Because they can arrest you for it. And all you have to do is bring it for the court. Because they'll have to debate her actions versus your actions. And that's going to be a fun court hearing.
Well, Newsom gave everybody a 1-up. He is going to start issuing government officials are allowed to break quarantine with a special card, of course.
Who said that?
Newsom.
Well, yeah, but that's the same thing when you look at Australia, for instance. Anyone with an ounce of money, they can just come in without quarantining themselves. If you're a Hollywood celebrity like Tom Hanks, or if you're a big businessman, you can just jump in on your private jet and it will be fine. But your regular schmucks, you're going to have to mandatory quarantine yourself for 2 weeks.
Yep. Exactly.
That's the way it always works.
At that point, you have to question the whole COVID thing. Because you'd think those people are more important than you. So why wouldn't they quarantine themselves?
Yeah, it's getting way out of control. When you've got governors outright telling the Supreme Court of their state and of the country, I don't care. You can give me that order, but so what? It's gotten a little out of control.
My main problem is the people on the top are the most narcissistic and egocentric people. So if there was actually something dangerous looming around the corner, they would turn
They wouldn't be
into
acting like this.
they would turn into Howard Hughes on a dime. And
They sure would.
none of them are doing it.
Because they know. They're not stupid.
Monica, the problem...
Put out a commercial of, well, we're here for your protection. And if everybody... Social distancing, it's like, shut the hell up, lady.
Thank you for keeping me safe.
Right.
Man.
Monica in the chat
guys,
says...
I'm about ready to call it a night.
Monica in the
getting
chat
ready?
says you can make a citizen's arrest, not in New York, trust me. If you went and tried to arrest Cuomo, your life will be destroyed. He did it to his daughter's boyfriend. He didn't like that his daughter had a trooper for a boyfriend and had him moved.
Like that.
Had him moved. And this guy is he's a total dictator. There's nothing you could do to this guy.
No, but lay your hands on him. See what happens. They're gonna nightstick you so hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. If you even got close enough to do it.
I mean, if I went and did a citizen's arrest on him, my business would be gone. I'd lose my house. I mean, I'd be pulled over every 5 minutes, you know?
Not just that, but simply expect to be George Floyd at that point when you pull that prank off.
Exactly.
So unless you could do a citizen's arrest with a few thousand people.
In New York, you need about 1 million.
No, a few thousand people would do enough. But the main problem would then be is, which police station is going to accept him?
Yeah. Yep. None of them.
None of them will accept him, and the longer you hold Cuomo down, they'll say you're preventing him from, what's it called? You're taking his liberty away. You're basically taking him hostage, which would make your group become criminals overnight.
Yep, exactly.
What? And
you're holding him hostage as you cannot deliver him to the police because they won't accept him.
Yeah,
wouldn't do anything.
That's the problem.
we're here to turn into the criminal. Wait a minute, you're the criminals.
Mm-hmm.
We got just one more quick video, and then I think we're gonna call it a night. Doc is falling asleep. I can tell. You know, when you're that many levels up, you get tired.
Oh, har.
We got one more from Kitty from Jigga Jones again. She's awesome with the links.
I love it.
Bullshit protesting people doing, you know. You wearing the faggot little mask and all that bullshit, and everybody's worried about it, right? and the states ain't opening the fuck up, you know. So here's the thing, man. All this stuff y'all motherfuckers is doing is bullshit. You have to waving signs and chanting and shit. That's not a motherfucking protest. That's stupid. That's fucking dumb. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker, you protesting at a closed building, talk about, you know, you on the weekend, and the fucking building's closed. Ain't no motherfuckers in there. What the fuck are you trying to do? Oh, we making a statement. No, the fuck you not. That's bullshit. That's what they want you to think, that that's a protest. That's not a motherfucking protest. What you're supposed to do is get together in a group, go to these motherfuckers' houses, kick their fucking door in the middle of the fucking night, wrap a rope around their neck, and drag them outside. And then you make them listen to what the fuck you say. You say, look here, motherfucker, you're not the fucking king. You're not a goddamn president of the goddamn state. You work for us, motherfucker. We want the fucking state open, write this shit, and get it done. That's what you're supposed to do. Don't make us have to fucking come back. You kick that motherfucker's door in and drag his ass out. These fucking Gavin Newsom, this fucking asshole, they got up here to Steve Susalak. That's what you need to do. That's a protest. So that motherfucker realizes that stupidity has consequences. That's what you need to do. Hold these motherfuckers' feet to the fire. You up here protesting. They laugh at that shit as they fly off on their fucking jets and leave the state to somewhere that is open. Fuck them for that bullshit. You think that's protesting? You gotta sign. Signs and little chants ain't never freed nobody. You know, motherfucker yelling USA, USA. That's not when you yell USA. When you yell USA is when you drag that motherfucker out of his house. You find him in his car. You find him out in the street somewhere and drag his ass out and hold him and make him listen to the people. Then you count USA as you kick his fucking ass. That's what you do. You got a fucked up governor. That's what you're supposed to do to them. They work for you. You do not work for them. They are not the motherfucking king. Stop letting them act like fucking kings. You like they're protesting with fucking signs, with filming shit. A real protest doesn't get filmed. You show up at this motherfucker where he's at, drag him out of his fucking office. That's a fucking protest. So I don't want to hear shit from anybody saying, oh, we protested and it didn't do nothing. You didn't fucking protest. You waved signs and chanted and shit. You want to change shit? You got to grab this shit by the hands and don't let these oppressive motherfuckers ruin your fucking life. Get out there and do something. That's why I haven't made no fucking videos, because I would have told motherfuckers to burn their fucking houses down. Everybody should go to these motherfuckers' houses in the middle of the night and kick off fucking road flares on the fucking curtilage of their fucking property. That's a fucking protest. Never PC, I'm always me. I'm Jigga Jones, LANSD.
Yeah, the problem with that is they're into that kinky stuff.
Well, that's the thing, though. He ain't wrong.
No, because you know what's funny? Kitty's right on target with the links because we were just talking about that. They ain't doing nothing. You're not a king. The only other problem is you'll end up on a list, and you know what happens when you end up on a list with the government.
Well, that sounds great. Nothing ever bad comes from being put on a list by government. They're doing it to keep me safe. They're protecting me. Thank you for keeping me safe.
All right, guys. I think we're going to call it a night here. Doc, you still awake?
I surely am.
It took a while to
I was
wake
just
you up.
multitasking for a second. Sorry.
All right, Doc.
Oh my gosh, it's that time of year.
You can go first since we got to get you to bed.
Oh, please. I was just saying. I'm not that old. But I'm so glad. I enjoyed tonight's conversation, guys. Really enjoyed it. Thanks, guys, everybody else for joining us. We're so glad you came back each week. And come back and see us again next week for more cussing and discussing. Keep your chin up. Support our POTUS. And buckle up for the ride, because it is going to be the time of our life, I think.
All right, Doc, thank you. Rusty, Iceman.
Sir. Thanks, everybody, for joining. It's good to be back. I just took a little bit of a break. Had things to get done. And don't go near that edge. Keep with us. Keep going forward. Support the president. Georgia, get out there. If you're anybody in Georgia, listen, register, and vote Republican. And make sure you do it.
All right, and you're on tomorrow night, Russ, right, Russ?
Yes, tomorrow night at 10:30 with Beth. We're talking about extending a few more nights.
Oh, good. 10:30, right? Eastern?
Rusty, that's 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just make sure everybody knows that.
All right. Victor.
Thanks for having me on, and thank you to all who joined in the conversation, both in chat and in video chat.
Do I look like I know what a JPEG
just a little
is?
public
I
service
just want a
announcement.
picture
We
of
all
a
know how
goddamn
trying
hot
times the
dog.
holidays usually are. This time, it's even worse. Look out for your fellow neighbor. Look out for your fellow friend. Help them out where you can.
Yeah,
these days we need a helping hand.
Yeah, we got a lot of people struggling up in my neck of the woods in New York with all these restrictions and lockdowns. So if you have anybody that you know in New York that's struggling, ask them if they need a little help or whatever you can do. Bring them a dinner, even if that's all you can do. Victor, you're on tomorrow, right?
Yeah, between 2 or 3 p.m., depending on how soon I have my St. Nicholas celebrations done. But I'll continue on the whole hatred for the Dutch St. Nick celebrations and explain why Black Pete isn't a racist icon.
All right. I just added 50 lemons, and thank you for coming on tonight, Victor. And don't forget, Victor and I are on together Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time for some good discussions like we had tonight again with everybody. So, yep. Thank you, Kitty B, right there with the link, Victor Show. Don't forget, I'm on Tuesday night. Boogie Bumper Monday and Wednesday. I make the meat in the sandwich of the Boogie Bumper show, apparently, and Victor and I make the other end of the meat sandwich there. Boogie must be the bread. So don't forget everybody else. Tonight at midnight, I think it's Joya Pesci, right? In 5 minutes. Kitty will
she already started.
Okay, so Joya Pesci's on. Go check him out. He's got, hopefully he's not doing reverse eating tonight. Otherwise,
no, he's doing higher learning, so
okay.
We all get smarter.
Yeah, the reverse.
Dumber.
I can't watch the reverse eating. It just, it creeps me out. Turns my stomach. Don't forget, who else? There's a lot of people. Major Tom was on tonight at 10 o'clock. He's on Saturday nights right now. Don't forget Royce Lopez and Mersh there from Nightwave, Daywave, and Revenge of the Sis. Coffee Talk with Sandra. Thursday night, the Kimmy Show, or it's not the Kimmy Show, but it's Angst and Giggles with Kimmy. Why Censored Kimmy? I was just doing a Joe Biden. I was rubbing my head going, I can't remember. There's so many of them, but I hope I didn't miss anybody. Have a good night. I just put some lemons in the chest. I'll release those now. Don't forget about t-shirt contest. We only need 21 more. I can give away these t-shirts. So share it out. Get people to subscribe, not subscribe, but at least follow on DLive. After the contest in the Wheel of Death, you can just unsubscribe if you want. That's okay.
Just get them there before New Year's.
Yes.
Next year, we might not have a show.
Yeah, that's true. If Joe Biden gets in there, none of us might ever stream again. So at least get the t-shirt before that happens. All right, guys. Releasing the chest. Have a good night. Thank you. Go check out Joya Pesci. And thank you to Kitty B, always with the links.
Hot dogs, Armor hot dogs. What kind of kids eat Armor hot dogs? Step right up from
Fat kids, skinny kids, kids who climb on rocks, tough kids, sissy kids.
Even kids with chicken pox love hot dogs.
Dominant Hearn, all the way from Tokyo, Japan, the Yodomeister, Mr. Takeo Ishii.
It was when I was out was walking. Someone took my lovely chicken from me. Run, my lovely chicken, run, my dear. Run, my lovely chicken, run away. are coming out when someone took my lovely chicken from me. Run, my lovely chicken, run, my dear. Run, my lovely chicken, run away. Ole, jumping to the stove, she rose and landed where she thought the bottom was well located. Run, my lovely chicken, run, my dear. Run, my lovely chicken, run away. Ole,
Mein Damen und Herren, presenting to you aus Rhein-Winkel, Southern Bavaria, the Yodelmeister, yodeling the BB Handel.
Gotta speed to town, I go out shopping and we'll buy a brand new lovely chicken. Run, my lovely chicken, run, my dear.
But why are you farming for coins when you have a heavy bag?
Donald Trump, don't trust China. China is asshole.